No.
What time is it, Ben?
No, Johnny.
Say it!
I don't wanna!
Say it!
Welcome back to SKYACK Studios. I'm Christian Wilson.
I'm Cody Ellis.
And today we're reviewing the Fantastic Four First Steps. Yes, the good one.
Yes, the best one.
If you haven't already seen it, you need to go watch it. Don't watch this video if you have not seen it yet. You will be spoiled all over yourself.
What did you say?
All over yourself.
Yes. So, okay, brief overview. What did you think of it, Cody?
I loved it. I think it's the best Fantastic Four movie out of any of them.
Would you say it's fantastic?
Yes, no pun intended.
No, absolutely pun intended. I don't know what he's talking about. But yes, so this is like the fifth. Well, there was the one in '94 by
94.
Corman that never got officially released. 2005 with Ian Grufford, Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, and Michael Chiklis, and then they made a sequel to that one. Which this movie reminds me a lot of that one just because it has the Silver Surfer, but they depict them both in very different ways. And then there was Fan Four Stick. Do not watch Fan Four Stick.
Oh God.
I love Miles Teller, but that was not the vehicle for him to be Fantastic Four. That was terrible.
Remember one of our first videos was that review for that movie? Just how bad it was.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Like and Josh Trank, like it's not his fault. Like he did Chronicle. Chronicle's amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't even like found footage films. That's how good Chronicle was. So like I get why they hired him, but then.
But be sure to check out on our channel in the description of that old review. You can click on it, like our channel, hit the subscribe button for more content.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the studio, because Fox does what they do half the time is they chop up the movie and it's not very good. So don't let Fan Four Stick paint your view of Josh Trank or the Fantastic Four. Just that one movie
It was a bunch of studio interference. That's what happened.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Fantastic Four First Steps with Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby. Who else?
Ebon Moss-Bachrach.
Bachrach. We're terribly sorry if we mispronounced your names. And Johnny Storm, played by Joseph Quinn. Pedro Pascal has been in everything.
I see him everywhere now.
He's the Mandalorian. He's in Last of Us. Game of Thrones. Like, if you don't know Pedro Pascal, you're not on the internet. Vanessa Kirby. I don't know what else she's been in.
She's been in Mission Impossible Fallout,
Okay.
Dead Reckoning. She's also, well, not Dead Reckoning, but it was Dead Reckoning before Last Reckoning. And then she was also in Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, which I know you haven't seen those movies.
No, we'll react to all those at some point. No relation to Jack Kirby, the creator of the Fantastic Four. And then Ebon Moss-Bachrach, he was in what other Marvel thing?
He played Micro in the Punisher series. Yes. He was only there for one season, but other than that, he was in The Bear, which a show that is completely loved, and nice little tidbit of his
The cooking
scene.
A little garlic just because it wants some zip.
Yeah.
And then Joseph Quinn, as you all know from Stranger Things.
He was also in A Quiet Place Day One.
Okay.
Yeah. Which we could also react to since Christian hasn't seen.
If you want us to react to horror films, let us know. It's not my favorite genre, but if y'all want to see it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
So the movie starts off, there's not an origin story in the sense like the 2005 one in Fan Four Stick where it shows them going into space and doing all that. Like it shows them boarding the rocket ship, but it's done in like a news broadcast. So it's a very interesting way of how they did the exposition, that they're not just
which is one of the best openings I've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a way to catch up on the people who haven't seen it, but also not just throw up all over us those who know the story, because like I said, this is the fifth time we've done this. If you don't know who those characters are, I don't know.
And we also got to appreciate just how the world building of this movie is.
Right.
Like, when you walk into this movie, it's very different from all the other Marvel movies. Like, you walk into it without needing any homework. That's the best part about this movie, is you don't need to watch any of the other Marvel movies in order to watch this movie.
No, especially the Fantastic Four. Don't.
Especially the old ones.
Just don't.
Yeah. Well, I do love the first one with the... I do kind of like the first and second one with Chris Evans.
The 05 one. The 05 ones are fun, but they're not as good as this one.
Yeah, they're not as good. but I do love the actors who played those roles. I think
Yeah.
they were good fits.
It was never the casting was never the problem. It was the storyline. Some of the story decisions they made were
Yeah.
kind of out there.
I think back then people were too afraid to make movies as comic booky as they can. But
Right.
now we're living in an age where movies like Fantastic Four and Superman, they're not afraid to go all out there.
Right. It's like in X-Men why at the very end of the first one they're like, would you rather have us wear yellow spandex? It's like they were afraid to be comic book movies, and I'm like, no, be a comic book movie. That's what we want.
Yeah. But I do love the world building. It's
Yes.
the 1960s future retro
Right.
style that they put in, which is very inspired by Jack Kirby.
Yes.
Like, and Jack Kirby, his birthday was actually mentioned in this movie in the opening,
Yeah.
which is this. So in order to know this movie, it takes place in Earth 828,
Right.
which is
different than the main MCU takes place in 616.
Yeah, and 828 is Jack Kirby's birthday.
Yeah, August 28th. Yep.
Yep.
It'll in about a week or 10 days. So
Yeah, I do love that, and I think it's because the way how the world looks is because with a character like Reed Richards is like the smartest man in the universe, probably way smarter than Tony Stark and Howard Stark combined, and way smarter than Bruce Banner. But because of his ingenious ways of thinking, he pretty much solved the world's problems
Right.
all across the world, and I just love that. I just love that this movie feels more imaginative than most of the other Marvel movies,
Right.
where you just have the complete freedom to do whatever.
Exactly, because they're not tied down to anything. Yes, this is like the 27th or whatever within all the MCU, but like I said, without the homework, they don't need to tie back to other things as much. So
Yeah.
okay, so
So we get the montage in the opening, and we see the space launch. We see a little bit of their origin story, but you don't see like how they got you don't see on screen just how they got their powers.
Right.
But they skipped over that to where they finally get their powers. They've been the Fantastic Four for 4 years, and you see a montage of all the saving people's lives and all the villains that they fought, the same villains that we know from the comic books.
yeah, some of them like Red Ghost and the Apes, and unfortunately John Malkovich got cut from Red Ghost. That would have been cool to see. And then when Reed kicked the ape out of the whatever it was into the ocean, I was like, oh my god, good thing these are not real apes.
Yeah, it would have been out of context if
Right.
if it was like, why is he kicking an ape? Like, but in the comic books, Red Ghost mind controls apes to do whatever he wants them to do.
Right. And then we also have Mole Man, and Mole Man, as you know, he plays a great role at the end of the movie too. And the guy who played Mole Man was
He played Stingray. I apologize if I forget his name, but he did play Stingray in Cobra Kai.
that's what it is.
Yeah, and we'll get to doing a reaction to Cobra Kai pretty soon.
I need to watch. I think we need to rewatch Karate Kid. It's been a while since I've seen those, and then we'll lead into it.
Yeah, we could do kind of like a rewatch.
Right. And then the new
commentary.
one, Legends. I haven't seen Legends.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Legends 2. We'll definitely get to that.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
So Mole Man is in Subterranea. That's like his underground area of New York.
He also wears the visors because he's irritated by the sunlight because he's so used to living underground. He's pretty much a mole in real life. He's kind of blindness to the sun, and but eventually in the montage we see cuts of Susan Storm creating the Future Foundation,
Right.
which pretty much
It's like the UN. It's like the coming together of all the nations, and it's kind of different than what it was in the comics, where it was more of just like reads like Stark Industries, right? Like it was So it's interesting how they took these similar things, but they updated them and changed them.
But the way how they utilize it is they pretty much solve all of the military conflicts around the world. Like
Right.
they pretty much end all world hunger.
Right.
And they pretty much the whole world came together in unity.
That's how you know this is a fictional movie.
Yeah. But during the UN Future Foundation conference, we did see an empty seat of the ambassador.
Latveria, yeah.
Yeah, the ambassador of Latveria, which is tied to Doctor Doom.
Yep. Several times they had Latveria. It was a really cool Easter egg.
Yeah.
Okay,
And Giganto was also in the movie, which
yeah, during the montage when they were explaining showing their powers, they had like almost like stills of like famous Fantastic Four covers, and they had Giganto, the first Fantastic Four one. Is that, yeah,
yeah, issue 1.
yeah, where they were fighting Giganto. So that was really cool to see. As cool as it would be to go back and have all those stories adapted, at least we got them referenced in this movie.
Yeah, it's very much in homage. I think we want to thank Max Shakman for directing this movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He did. If you're not familiar with Shakman, he also did WandVision, and like the first half of that show is in the 50s, 60s, and 70s television era. So he was very familiar with that style of shooting and what it looked like, and it was like almost perfect fit for him to go from WandVision to this. So.
Also, he's a very much a comic book fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this movie, if you don't know this, John Watts, who directed the Spider-Man Home trilogy, was originally supposed to be the director of this movie, but he left because he went on to do Skeleton Crew, the Star Wars show. But Matt Shakman, I think, is like the perfect director for this movie because it's pretty much in homage to Jack Kirby's artwork from the comic books.
Absolutely. Movies depict Marvel's first family of superheroes, and I like how they don't just say that. Like one of the opening scenes is Sue and Reed are late for Sunday dinner, and Johnny calls them out on it. So it's like they show that family dynamic that they can riff on each other, make fun of each other, but they still love each other.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was missing from the trailers that I didn't really get. At least the first 2 trailers was the chemistry between the characters. But I definitely felt that early on at the dinner table.
Right.
It's like, that's what I needed. I needed that dynamic.
And Johnny was like, "You're going to be a great mom. You were out of your depth." and then I would have liked a little bit more with, because that was one of the things that the Chris Evans, Michael Chiklis, that their chemistry, where Johnny was just messing with Ben all the time with like
I love that about the old
shaving
line.
cream and all that. Like
I love that so much. I wish we would have seen more of that.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm sure they're going to get to it, but that back and forth banter was just really cool.
Yeah. I mean, we see a little bit of them messing with each other a little bit.
Yeah.
But they were also being like bros, like just like they're irritated in one scene where Reed is talking a bunch of scientific nonchalant stuff,
technobabble.
And they were fake sleeping.
Yep.
Until they get to the cool part, like, oh, that's awesome, we get the punch out. Yeah.
Yeah, so we mentioned all that, and then we can't forget Herbie. So Herbie, we're talking about Ben cooking. Herbie is from the cartoon. Originally, I forget what was going on with the rights in the 60s, but there was a time when they couldn't have the Human Torch as part of the Fantastic Four in the cartoon. So in order for it to still be 4 people or 4 members, they created Herbie.
Oh yeah.
And I forget what Herbie stands for, but yeah. So it was really cool that even though it was interesting how Herbie was created, that he was a part of the movie, so they knew the origin or the history of the characters.
Yeah, because it's interesting how one of Marvel's first characters was the Human Torch, but it wasn't originally Johnny Storm.
Yeah, that was an android type thing.
Yeah, it was an android until Stan Lee pretty much revolutionized Human Torch as a member of the Fantastic Four.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the whole movie centers around Franklin Richards, Sue and Reed's child, and that's like the first scene of the movie is, or after the news broadcast, the first scene in real time, I guess, is Sue trying to tell Reed that she's pregnant. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they said they've been trying for like 2 years, having a kid together.
Yeah.
But they question whether or not he would have powers or not. They kind of doubt that he would. He ran tests on him until much later we get to the main plot of the movie to figure out who he is exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So like after we find out about her pregnancy and they establish them as a family, of course the Silver Surfer, who is different than the one from the 2007 movie. So that one, Norrin Radd is one of the more famous Silver Surfers. In this version, it's his wife Shalabal. If we're mispronouncing that, I apologize. So we have Shalabal as the Silver Surfer. She's the herald telling that Earth is going to get destroyed and that Galactus wants Franklin. He knows he believes Franklin to be a very powerful being, or will become a powerful being, and wants to harvest off of his power.
I just also want to point out that I don't like it when people get get critical about the gender swap of Silver Surfer.
Yeah, well,
because it's not the same character. It's
Right.
They use a different character. It's the same persona, but it's not the same character.
Right.
And it's a different universe.
It is, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's depicted as the Silver Surfer, but really it's more like Silver Surfers. That it's whatever herald Galactus has at the time, and depending on which planet he destroys at whatever time, like he's however, I don't know how old Galactus is, but it's
Like, I think he said like 1 billion years old.
right. And so obviously his herald is not going to be the same every single time. So if it's just a title, then it doesn't matter who it is, and
Yeah.
you know.
Like, even in the comic books, Johnny Storm also became a herald. Like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he played Nova or something. At least he was one of 2 people who have been the persona of Nova. Not the same Nova that we know with the helmet.
The Nova Corps.
The Nova Corps.
Different Nova.
Different kind of Nova, like Flame On kind of Nova.
Yeah. Supernova.
Yeah, super.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So this female Silver Surfer comes out, and of course Johnny, being Johnny, he's smitten with her and like tries to go up in space and get her before she leaves, and that's when we see when he gets out to space and there's no oxygen, obviously he can't flame on. And I want to say for a second, I really like the effects of this movie. That in the 2005 one, they each had their individual suits that were aligned to their powers. But in this one, it's like Johnny, like no matter what Johnny's wearing, his real clothes adapt to his power. Like they don't burn like they did originally. So it's really cool to see him wearing street clothes, and then the flames are like an outline of the clothes that he's actually wearing. Like whoever did the effects on Johnny's flames, like they did really good at depicting those things.
Oh yeah, and I think it also comes to in-universe knowledge that redesigned each of their clothes.
Right, not just their uniforms, like all of it. Yeah,
Yeah, all their clothes to match the DNA of their powers.
Right.
So that's why you don't see his clothes burn off so easily.
Right.
But I also love the scene where they enter Times Square and they see Silver Surfer, how ominous Silver Surfer's presence was,
Right.
and the intensity of Galactus's arrival coming to Earth. I think that was one of the most startling goosebumps moments for me.
Yeah.
Is just she brings a lot of an ominous presence in the movie, and I like that.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she's a very commanding performance. I forget who the actress is, but she did a very good job.
Yeah, she's the girl from the new movie Weapons.
That's another horror film. If you want us to react, let us know.
Yeah. I'm not a big horror fan.
I'm not either, but if that's what you want, we will.
There's some horror fans that I like, but there are some that could be too much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll see what the fans want.
Yeah.
So their first thought is, well, they're used to going into space. They're astronauts. They're all that stuff.
Their plan is to negotiate with
right. They want to see if they can go talk to him, and so they follow the Silver Surfer to Galactus's planet, or his ship, I think. Right.
Yeah, his ship.
Yeah.
But if you remember in the 2007 Rise of Silver Surfer movie,
It was a cloud.
yeah, he was pretty much a
Yeah,
cloud.
no, this is not like that. This one they
Yeah.
have the full on his helmet, and then they even have his chest plate that has the G on it. Like it's like straight out the comics. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I just think that it's very lazy that they turned him into a cloud in that version, and they just didn't go for that look. Probably because they thought it was too goofy at the time. But I'm glad that they went accurate to his look.
Absolutely.
And how big and ominous present that he was on screen.
Right. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's considered like a celestial in this version, because I don't know Marvel cares about that, but he's like that type of.
I think it would make
power.
Yeah, I think it would make sense if he was a celestial.
Yeah.
Just like the others from Eternals and Ego.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they try to do that, and of course, Sue is like super pregnant. Like you can just tell she's.
Well, I think it's been months since they've announced their pregnancy.
I know, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like, if she wasn't the second smartest person in this group, I don't think she would have been allowed to go. But they they wanted to be together as a family and as a team, and so that's why she went. And so yeah, they get there, and yeah, they just try to negotiate with him, and Galactus is basically like, just no. And Johnny and they all fight the Silver Surfer, and they like knock the Silver Surfer into the like lava around his ship or something like that.
Yeah,
and then we think she's dead for a second, but then she comes back, and yeah.
Oh yeah, I think in that scene it was when Galactus he wanted Franklin because is to take over his place as the hunger being that he is, so he can be relieved of hunger. Right. And I think he lifted his finger and he pretty much got Sue to go into labor much earlier. And that just shows how powerful he really is. Just by raising his finger, shows how powerful he is.
That's how minuscule we are to Galactus.
Yeah.
So they try to get off his ship, and they run out of fuel, and so they pull is it Star Trek V, which is the whales one?
I think so. I haven't seen that one.
Oh, well, anyway, instead of time traveling around the sun, they slingshot around the sun in order to give themselves enough power.
Well, they slingshot around the black hole.
The black hole, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Because they run out of fuel, because of course they do. And Sue is like in the middle, she's like floating in the middle of the ship, giving birth, and like it's very intense what's going on.
I also think it's very Star Wars, like when they go into hyperspace. Mm-hmm. It's kind of similar to that.
Oh yeah, not so much hyperspace from Star Wars the movie, but it's a lot like the hyperspace in the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah,
where like you see the space whales, like a wormhole is like.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like very like light flashing through space. It like stars in flash of light through space. It looks more like a like waving stars hovering through space, and that just shows like how fast they're moving.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's different than like Guardians of the Galaxy, where they have like the hexagonal waypoints that they go to, because that's like a jump point. That's not hyperspace. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's
so that's why they'd be different. It's different. It's essentially the same thing in the sense that the ships are going up great distances, but how they do it is different.
Right, and it's also like in the 1960s, so they probably wouldn't have that technology just yet. I mean, Reed Richards,
he probably could have if he wanted to.
He could have if he wanted to.
But he's also the type of guy who's like, if there's already wormholes, we'll just utilize what's already there.
Yeah.
So,
but I think it's also very realistic that they were able to, that there's no gravity in space even when they're in their ships.
Oh yeah, that's why Sue is floating when she's giving birth.
Yeah. But I also love that how powerful she is. She can turn the whole ship invisible to escape Silver Surfer's clutches. Yeah. Like even that moment when they were about to go at the hyperspeed, when Silver Surfer was phasing through the ship to try to reach the baby, and then they sped, and and then she fell behind. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
So they end up getting back to Earth after slingshotting around the black hole, and they're trying to figure out what the best course of action is. And earlier, Reed was giving a demonstration at a college about teleportation, and he was transporting these eggs from one side of the room to the other. And he could move the eggs, but like the power was going off. He couldn't figure out how to not drain the power of everything to do that. But in the course of his experimentation, he was like, well, if Galactus is going to come here, we're just going to move the Earth so that when Galactus gets here, there's nothing here.
Well, not only that, before that happens, when they arrive back to Earth, well, they did say...
Oh, they have the press conference.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they did. They also mentioned that there would be a time dilation when they entered the black hole, so it's been a month that they arrived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the conference, that was like a moment in the movie where Reed just is lost for words for the first time.
Yeah.
He was vulnerable. The smartest man alive has no... Somebody asked him, are we safe? Yeah. And the first time the smartest man alive says he doesn't know.
Yeah, they had no plan. They didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, what would you do with, like, everyone else thinks, like, the odds, like, one kid versus billions of people, but it's like...
And that was the biggest controversy.
If it was your kid, what would you do?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact that these people are just turned on the Fantastic Four just because they wouldn't deliver Galactus, their kid, it's so...
Selfish. Yeah.
It's very selfish and very ignorant of them to give up one child for the sake of everyone. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, would you give up your child for the sake of everyone?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing, like with I don't know, like the story of Moses. Like, like, would you want to give up your child for?
Nobody wants to give up their child. Yeah. So they try to figure all that out, and that's what his first idea is to move the Earth, and they build all the teleportation devices around the Earth, and then the Silver Surfer comes and breaks them all except one of them. There's one in Times Square that's still open, and this whole time while Reed is figuring out about what they should do with the teleportation devices, Johnny remembers hearing a little bit of the Silver Surfer when he fell the first time, just a little bit of her language, and he spends this whole time translating it, and there's several other recordings of similar languages, and he figures out her whole alphabet and all this, and I forget the name of the language, but it really showed that while
it really shows that Johnny isn't just your playboy type.
Yeah, no, he still has his, he's definitely younger than everybody else. He has that type of humor, like. He goes Silver Surfer, like, don't tell me how to flirt with sexy aliens.
Yeah,
like,
he's actually proven himself to be useful in this movie.
Right, it's both, and I like that a lot, that he's not just a dumbass, that he figured out all the language and stuff to talk to the Silver Surfer, and ultimately it pays off in the end because she helps them defeat Galactus, so Johnny's efforts weren't wasted in this movie.
And also, he was willing to sacrifice himself like twice in the movie to save Franklin. Yeah, a good uncle that he is. Like, he's willing to give his life to save his nephew, save the whole world.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was. It shows that he's very selfless and not selfish.
Right.
It shows that he's not surface level. He's more. He is empathetic. He is humble.
And there's a reason why he went on this spaceship, not just because he's Sue's brother. That he's also an actual scientist.
Yeah, so. He is. I think. Yeah, you kind of have to be a scientist to be an astronaut in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we also learn a little bit about Ben's life on Yancey Street, which is influenced a little bit by Jack Kirby. That's where he grew up, or similar to where he grew up in Brooklyn.
Yeah. I hint a little bit of a Brooklyn accent in his voice.
Yeah.
And I just love that. I think because he did say in the movie that Yancey Street is like the only place in New York that hasn't changed.
Right.
Where everything else is technological advance.
It's all modern. Yeah.
It's all modern. I just love that moment where he's lifting the car up for the kids just to amuse them by his strength and everything. I also love that in this movie they accept who he is and not be afraid of him, because in the 2005 movie they were freakingly afraid of what he looked like.
Well, and that may have been the case because they've been there for 4 years, so people have 4 years of experience with these people. When they first became the Fantastic Four, they could have had all that fear. We don't know.
Yeah.
But they've gotten to the point now where these are New York's heroes, the world's heroes. Everyone is comfortable with them.
Yeah.
And then at Yancey Street, there's this woman named Rachel that I don't know if they start dating or whatever their situation is.
She's pretty much like a teacher at a Jewish school.
Right. And so
church,
the thing that surprised us the most is that it's not Alicia, the blind girl from the other ones. And in the comics, that's who he's with. So I don't know if this is supposed to replace Alicia or if eventually they'll introduce her.
I think the director said that it's because people accept for who he is, they don't need a blind person to validate him.
I mean, they probably don't, but it was just interesting to see that they went with it, because I almost would have preferred if her name was still Alicia, but she wasn't blind, so it's like more of a nod.
Yeah,
but
But I do love their love story, especially in the comic books, because she doesn't care who he is.
Right.
She doesn't care what he looks like, and she doesn't have to see in order to know his heart, and know what he looks like. And they get married in the comics.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm sure eventually Johnny is going to wonder how they do that, but that's because that's who Johnny is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so so instead of moving the Earth, the plan is to move.
Well, that was after they planned to teleport Galactus away, because that was after Silver Surfer destroyed all the ships, all the teleportation devices around the world.
Right.
Yeah. But I love that montage where the whole world was in on
Yes.
constructing.
Yeah, they were willing to work together to construct and to turn off their power, so that because for some reason Reed still couldn't figure out the power issue, but he was able to get everyone to shut down the power for however long. Like, it's amazing how Fantastic Four united everybody in more ways than one.
Exactly.
One of our favorite running gags was the "It's clobbering time." That throughout the movie, everyone kept asking, "It's like, say it, say it, say it," and then he's like, "That's only in the cartoon, pal." And then finally, in the last battle, Johnny is holding Ben, and he's like, "What time is it?"
And then
it's clobbering time.
And then it pays off.
Yes, I'm so glad that they did that. And then Reed's powers. I never thought to use his powers this way, but he's walking up crawling up the buildings in New York. He's almost like Spider-Man, but he's got two. Like, it was really cool.
It's almost like Elastigirl in The Incredibles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
the way how he was able to use his powers in a way that is acrobatic in a way.
Yep.
But that moment where Galactus was stretching, Reed, I think Reed can stretch as far at will, but when it's forced, that's where it hurts the most.
Right.
When he's pulled at force, I think that's why.
Yeah. So it is theoretically possible for him to get stretched like a rubber band and it break. So
yeah,
and then.
But then finally, Sue shows how powerful she really is.
They fake out the Franklin. They have a carrier with the child. And then they temporarily blind Galactus, and he's about to pick up the baby. And then, because Galactus can like see through things, like his X-ray vision, or what does he have?
He kind of has like a heat sensory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That too. Yeah.
It's like he was able to sense like Franklin based on his power levels. I think.
Right.
That's where he was able to find him.
And so that plan didn't work to swap out the baby. So then. He gets all the way to the Baxter building, and Sue almost like force pushes him with her powers. Like, it's amazing how powerful she was. Not just,
and she's it goes to show how far she's come since
Right.
introducing in the comic books.
Exactly,
because
yeah.
originally she didn't have force field powers. She just turned invisible.
She was just invisible. Yeah. So
Yeah.
It's beyond that, and then her being a mom, which is a whole other level of strength that she needs to have. How old is Franklin? When between birth and when this happens, the battle?
I think it's got to be at least almost half a year.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah, 6 months, I think.
So it's like she didn't just give birth, but it's like she's had the kid for 6 months. Like, I'm sure all kinds of stuff going on that she's able to still be strong enough to
like however far Galactus has made it to
Right.
Earth, because they say he made it past Jupiter, he made it past Mars.
Right.
Like, I don't know what the space travel is like.
I don't know.
I guess his ship doesn't have light speed in a way.
I guess not.
Yeah.
He took his sweet damn time. But yeah, no. So yeah, Sue pushes Galactus all the way into the teleportation device, and like he's about to, like, I think he's like all the way through, and he starts crawling back out.
Yeah, he starts crawling
and
back out.
then the Silver Surfer just comes in.
Well, Johnny tries to sacrifice himself.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's like, tell Franklin his uncle loves him, and then she comes in and pushes him aside, and then she launches straight into Galactus' heart, and they both fall into the other side of the universe.
Right, exactly. And that wouldn't have happened if Johnny hadn't have spoken to her. Like, he was so adamant. Like, obviously he may have had one selfish motivations, but still, like, if he hadn't have reached out to her and saw her as more than just a herald for Galactus, she wouldn't have remembered her. She's humanoid. I don't know if she's exactly human, but some part of her that could be her humanity. He spoke to that to her, and that's how she
he was able to see his side of things, because she was just all for serving for her sacrificing for her planet, but she wasn't thinking about the consequences for other people's planets, and the deaths of billions of people.
Right.
But she was able to get through to him and translated all the screams of all the alien planets to get her to finally understand where they're both coming from. They're both trying to save their worlds.
Right, exactly. They're more alike than they are different.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as powerful as Sue is, when they finally get it all over, apparently pushing a god takes a lot out of you. So she dies.
She used all of her power to push him in.
Yeah.
Inevitably died.
Yeah.
But
they get Franklin back, and Franklin, he Grogu's her back to life because of course he can.
well, they did mention he was like a space god.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so Franklin resurrects his mom, and so they saved the day, of course, and then they're about to go back on the Ed Sullivan type show for their news, and somebody brings up this onesie that's like the 5 instead of the 4.
Yeah.
For Fantastic Five with Franklin,
and they're like, no, it's too soon.
Yeah.
No, we're not ready for that yet.
Nope. And they're
and then I love that car seat where they get alert, like they have to go save the day, but they try to get the car seat strapped in.
like, how many guys does it take to put in a car seat? Yeah.
It reminds me of 3 Men and a Baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just love how they banter after one another trying to get the car seat in.
Yep. So then they have the mid-credit scene where it's been 4 years later, because of course it is. And you can tell with some of the, not just the 4 years, but like her attire is a little bit different, which Matt Shakman was very good at the timing of all this.
Yeah.
And then Franklin is on the floor, and we don't see his face. We don't see it's Downey Jr. Doom, but I'm pretty sure that's who it's going to be.
Yeah. There's no telling if he is Doctor Doom in their universe or another universe.
Yeah, we don't know which version of Doom it is yet, but we know it is a Doom.
It is.
And Franklin is reaching out for his face, so we know his mask is off, or we're pretty sure his mask is off, and Franklin is reaching out.
Yeah, I saw his mask in his hand.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So Franklin is reaching out for his face, and then it just cuts to black.
And then we get the little cartoon.
Yeah. At
the end.
At the very end, they show the 60s cartoon, and then the last frame of the 60s cartoon is they have Pedro, Vanessa, Ebon, and Joseph in character as their cartoons. I thought that was really cool. They combined those two things.
And they also introduced like a quote and to honor Jack Kirby in memory, and also
wherever you find my characters, you'll find me, or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and showing that 828 was his birthday.
Yep.
August 28th.
So,
but yeah, I think this movie is fantastic in a way.
Yeah.
I think it's the kind of movie that is about family in a way. So it's very relatable to what you would do. What would you do as far as you go to help save your family?
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, that's kind of the movie we need right now, much like with Superman. That is like, we need to recognize our common humanity, and we're all family, we're all connected, and I wish more people would see that we don't need to be divided, we don't need to fight each other, we don't need to do any of that.
Yeah, this movie is all about unity.
Yeah,
in a way, like if you look at it in that way, you can see like family, the whole world is all united. Everyone is thinking commonly of what they would do for their families. Also, I think we didn't mention that Mallman played a part in this movie.
Oh yeah, I said we were gonna come back to that. So at the very end, when they're executing the plan to teleport Galactus, in order to make sure that only Galactus gets teleported, they make a deal with Mallman for New York to go to Subterranea,
which is his underground city.
Yeah. And so they get everybody to
evacuate the city.
Evacuate, so that they can make sure that the only thing that gets teleported is Galactus.
Yeah. And it won't be the last we'll see Galactus.
No, I really liked how they defeated him in this movie, that they didn't kill him, that he's just been transported however long far away without his spaceship.
And there's no telling just how you would kill him, because he's 1 billion years old. And
I don't know. However they finally defeat Galactus, like what they did with Thanos, like it needs to be epic. It needs to be final, he's gone, like, because so many like MCU, like, everything, like no one's death is permanent, and we need some finality. We need the stakes to be real.
Yeah. And I believe that the post-credit scene is directed by the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
For Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe that what my assumption is Doctor Doom wants Franklin for benevolent plan to destroy universes and build his own universe that creates Battleworld in a way.
Yeah.
I believe Franklin is going to play the part of which the character of Molecule Man in Secret Wars to be the catalyst that creates Battleworld, that erases the multiverses, erase the whole multiverse, and Secret Wars will be the moment where it reboots the entire MCU, kind of like Crisis on Infinite Earths, I believe, where some things are the same but some things are different.
Right.
Yeah,
because they want to bring this now that Disney owns everything. They want to bring the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, and hopefully Spider-Man too. I know that's Sony, but they want them all to be together in the same thing. I don't know if they're going to create a whole new world called Battleworld. I think they're going to bring it all crashing down into the Void just because they already have the Void. But if Doom is as powerful as he's going to be, he can do whatever he wants.
the Void might actually become Battleworld.
Something like that, yeah.
I believe the Void plays a part in some capacity because they have to find a way to make all the storylines from the previous movies to interconnect in a big way.
Right.
Because if you're gonna make a post-credits scene, you gotta make sure that it pays off to the next movie.
And half of them don't. Like we still don't have the new Blade. We don't have.
We don't have any. We don't have like any callbacks to any of the previous post-credits scenes, like with Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah. Shang-Chi never got paid off.
Eternals never got paid
Blade,
off.
Eternal didn't. Kang Dynasty didn't because of stuff with Jonathan Majors. Like
I think it'd be really cool if they put in a scene where Doom kills all the Council of Kings.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, which kind of like pays off that post-credits scene, and
while
then,
still doing their new plan.
Yeah, while still doing their new plans, and they might have teased Doom before in previous movies. Like,
there's theory videos about Doom has been here the whole time. I haven't seen them, but yeah.
Like, if you've seen the Loki season 2 finale, Loki traveling back in time to the interrogation with Mobius. Mobius was telling the story about his first time as a TVA agent, saying that the variant was an 8-year-old boy, which caused the deaths of thousands of people. A lot of people have theorized if that 8-year-old boy was Doom.
I mean, they've done that before with like Iron Man 2, the little kid ends up becoming who we know as Spider-Man now. That in 2009 or 10, whenever Jon Favreau made that movie, he had no idea who this kid was. He was just an 8-year-old kid. And so they do all kinds of things like that. So.
Yeah, and Loki will also be in Doomsday. So
I hope so.
I believe...
if you haven't seen the Loki show, it's very good. You need to watch it.
Yeah. But very much like Loki... Fantastic Four, and I think this is what Marvel really needs to do is they need to make movies and shows just like this to be connected but still feel like its own thing.
Right, exactly.
It has its own identity, and that's why I think a lot of people really like Loki so much because it has that different feel.
Its own thing. Yeah.
Its own thing.
That's why Guardians of the Galaxy is also one of my favorite movies because it's like, James Gunn is a fantastic director, but like you watch Guardians of the Galaxy and it has some of the bits of Thanos where he's like I'll do it myself. Like it has it has parts of that, but you can watch Guardians by itself. Like you don't need the overarching story. So I feel like Marvel kind of lost that where the each movie needs to be as good as the sum of the parts, not just each part being you have to watch it for homework or whatever, and they've really gotten away from that.
Yeah, and it's really I think it's ever since Bob Iger left and they had the new CEO at the time during Phase 4 and 5 that really told Marvel, like, we need to have this movie, this show, all these movies and shows to come out all in 1 year, and it became too much, and they proved
they're siloed. Like their intention was you watch WandaVision into Multiverse of Madness, and you can do that, but it seems like a lot of whoever made like Matt Shakman and then Scott Derrickson, who's Sam Raimi, that they didn't talk to each other from WandaVision to Multiverse of Madness, and I'm like, no, if they're supposed to be connected, then the people on both those projects need to talk to each other. It shouldn't be siloed. Otherwise, it's going to feel disjointed, and you're going to tread over things that people already know or that it doesn't work. And it needs, if you're going to say it's connected, it needs to really be connected, not just say it is.
Yeah, and I got no problems with Sam Raimi as a director.
No.
I think there were parts of Multiverse of Madness that I liked,
Yeah.
but Scott Derrickson, I think he had the short end of the stick with Marvel, because he really wanted to make like the first Marvel horror film, and they never allowed him to do that.
No, instead we got Werewolf by Night.
Yeah,
Which that's not bad either. It's just different.
yeah, but it would have also been cool because Marvel was also against rated R films until we got Deadpool and Wolverine.
Because if people made a PG-13 Deadpool movie, they would riot.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
well,
they need to.
Well, technically, they did. It was called X-Men Origins Wolverine, but
Well, that didn't turn out great.
no.
But yeah, we need to. Disney really needs to let Marvel do their thing, without any interference.
Let them be creative and not just like if they're so worried about the money, they're too goal oriented on what the money is. They don't understand the process and the creativity of how to get there. Like if they let the creatives be the creatives, they'll make their money.
Yeah,
They just lose sight of that.
yeah, they lose sight of the creativity.
Yeah.
And that's why I think this movie did so great. And
Well, technically, this movie flopped.
but even a flop movie is still great.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
it was like this movie and then Thunderbolts. Those movies are really, really good, but it's because Brave New World. There's so many movies where it's like,
I think the problem why it flopped is because people have lost
faith in
faith.
Fantastic Four because of the previous ones. Yeah.
But I think they've also lost faith in Marvel.
Yes.
Because of the previous movies that have come out.
Yeah. So when there are good movies like Thunderbolts and like this one, they go, nobody watches them, and then it doesn't work. It's the same thing with like Episode 8 and Solo. Solo obviously is not perfect. I'm not saying it is because halfway through it switched from. Was it Christopher Lord and Miller?
Yeah, it was Lord and Miller who did Spider-Verse.
And then it switched to Ron Howard. So like it had its own internal production problems, but nobody saw Solo because Episode 8 was so bad. So it's like it's one of these things where it's like again, each piece needs to be good in order for people to watch every piece. Yeah.
And nobody went and saw the Thunderbolts because nobody were too familiar with those characters. And like if you call it the New Avengers is the secret title of the movie, but that was a spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and I think
basically what we're saying is if you haven't seen Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four, you should go watch both of those.
Yeah. And then the whole thing with Brave New World was it was
too embarrassed to be a Hulk sequel, but part of that was the exposition was clunky. I like the exposition of this movie more because they did it as the newscast. The exposition from Brave New World was clunky, but part of the problem with Brave New World is that it shouldn't have been a 20-year sequel to The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Because Universal had issues with the rights with Hulk, because Ragnarok is a fantastic movie, but Ragnarok should have been Planet Hulk. Planet Hulk should have been its own property.
If Universal had but
because of the rights with Universal, we weren't able to flesh out Banner's story so that we would know who Thunderbolt Ross was, who Banner was, because like they were like Bruce Banner's girlfriend, Betsy Ross, and I'm like, why is that important to the news broadcast? Like it's just
I don't understand why. If Universal is not going to let Marvel make a Hulk movie, why can't they just call it an Avengers project and have Hulk be the main character?
Well, no, that's what they did with Ragnarok. That's why, but I'm saying like because they weren't able to do enough with Hulk, we're missing this whole story in between Incredible Hulk and Brave New World, and that's part of why Brave New World didn't do so well.
Yeah.
So,
but I think. Yeah, and I think it was also because of the exposition from Falcon the Winter Soldier. I think...
Oh, that too, yeah. That was supposed to be a sequel to that, and they didn't do that one enough.
Yeah, they didn't do that enough.
So it was like, you're trying to marry these two things that, it was all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, if you have seen Avengers Endgame, it was kind of implied that Sam would take over the mantle, but you kind of needed Falcon the Winter Soldier to understand Brave New World. Maybe have like a highlight exposition to kind of explain that.
Where it's not as clunky as what we
Yeah.
got. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, you need to watch that too. It's good.
Yeah. But Deadpool and Wolverine, it was good. But before that, in 2023, we had movies like The Marvels and I'm forgetting what else.
I like the Marvels,
look,
but the Marvels
Guardians-
was a lot of homework. Yeah.
Yeah, Marvels was a lot of homework. It was like you have to watch WandaVision, watch Miss Marvel, watch Secret Invasion in order to
Captain
watch
America.
the...
Well,
Yeah.
don't watch Secret Invasion. You're not missing much.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one you said?
Oh, in 2023, we also had Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I also like Quantumania, but the problem with Quantumania is we were looking at it as an Avengers sequel, not as an Ant-Man sequel, and then the fact that we don't have Kang as the villain anymore,
Yeah.
that kind of ruins that whole story. So there's a lot of things around it that didn't work out.
Yeah. I think originally they wanted Doom as the main villain, but because Kang was becoming so popular with Loki,
and they didn't have the. This was before Disney bought Fox,
Yeah.
so they either just before or like they didn't.
I think they were in the...
They didn't have the full rights yet that they didn't want to jump the shark. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Kang was a Fox character, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah. It might have been... I mean, who knows? I mean, because
I'm sure the internet knows. You can tell us in the comments how wrong we are.
Because I think Kang is the descendant of Reed Richards.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
But now they don't have Kang, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Franklin is the new villain now. Spoiler. I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
Franklin the baby.
Yes, the baby. He's like Stewie. He's not.
Yeah. But the only thing that came out in 2023 that was good was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is amazing, and that one that's one of the few times where like the homework is kind of necessary for you to understand why it's a different Gamora, but the way they go about explaining that is it's also about Peter understanding that it's a different Gamora. So it's not just it's a different more get used to it. It's like, no, we're going through that journey with Peter because he has to understand that Gamora is different. And the way that I don't know if that was ever James Gunn planned in the third Guardians movie, if he even thought he was going to get a third Guardians movie.
He probably
was
did.
to do it as a post-Endgame movie, but the way he worked it in was he knew how to marry those two things.
Yeah, because I think, I mean, this, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think he didn't know that they were gonna kill Gamora in Infinity War.
Yeah, like I said, it's too siloed. Like they don't tell anybody anything.
Yeah. And it's just like James Gunn always said that he doesn't like to put post-credit scenes in unless they serve the purpose for the next movie.
Right.
And that's why he was very cautious about the Adam Warlock
Yeah,
scene.
and then like he had to do something with him now.
Yeah, he had to do something with him in the third movie, and he tried to do that, but I think it would have been more, because I think Adam Warlock would have been a good character in Infinity War because he was a big character in the comic book.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. But hopefully, for Fantastic Four, hopefully Doomsday serves a purpose,
Right.
for what they have, and but the next Marvel movie after this is Spider-Man: Brave New World.
Yeah.
Spider-Man: Brand New Day.
Day.
Yeah, not Brave New World.
Yeah.
But we know that Punisher is going to be in it. We
Yeah.
know Hulk is going to be in it. I think it's going to be the first time we're going to see Savage Hulk come back. Hopefully it doesn't be a Brave New World thing.
Yeah, or Spider-Man 3. We don't need another Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. I heard that it's going to be street level.
Okay, that's good. That's what we need. We need a grounded Superman. A Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Go see Superman 2.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think this Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are the two things that came out great.
Hopefully that means that Marvel's going back up, but if they're going to reboot everything anyway, it may not matter, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Just give Marvel the creative freedom to do what they want.
Yes,
And,
please, Disney. Let Marvel be Marvel. Don't interfere with it, please.
yeah. Take James Gunn advice. Write scripts down first before you start filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that,
I'm Christian Wilson.
I'm Cody Ellis. Please check out more of our videos. You'll see more reactions, more reviews on the channel, and we'll hope to see you soon. Keep it SKYACK.